Alright, two Michaels. This is going to be confusing.
Hello, and welcome to the first ever super grandtastic, extra fabulicious GameCola podcast. My name is Michael Ridgaway. I write the Quantum Geek column on GameCola. The music you were just listening to was Arkanoid by Entertainment System. So what we here at GameCola decided to do was put together a little monthly podcast for all you loyal fans, all three of you. And this month we have myself, Colin Greenhalgh, and Michael Gray discussing our favorite and not so favorite games of 2008, the games we're looking forward to in 2009, and what we hope to see. This is our first crack at podcasting, so it's a little rough around the edges, but we hope you enjoy it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy what will hopefully be the first of many GameCola podcasts.
So, first thing on the list is introduction of you guys, so go for it. One of you.
I'm Mike Ridgaway. I write the Quantum Geek article for GameCola. And I am an avid gamer and all that good stuff that qualifies me to talk about games.
Well, alrighty. Other Michael?
Yeah, I'm Michael Gray. I write the 10 Reasons and Inside the Guide for GameCola, and I guess that qualifies me to talk about games.
Just as much as the next person.
Yeah.
It's punditry, you know. You don't really need qualifications to be a pundit.
Being able to speak gives you those qualifications, I believe.
Essentially.
That's
Right.
good. I know how to speak.
I guess I'll introduce myself. I'm Colin Greenhalgh. I sporadically write reviews for GameCola, and that's about it. I too am an avid gamer, and I like to voice my opinions. I guess talking about the podcast a little, I kind of wanted to do a podcast for a while. I think it's a really good medium for discussing games, especially with other gamers. I'm surprised GameCola hasn't done one before, but I guess they just needed someone to organize it, and it's been a bit of a pain in the butt, but hopefully it's something we can get to do regularly and with more people next time. No offense or anything.
That's okay. Yeah, that's fine. We're just, we take time out of our busy schedules here, Colin.
Well, no, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys are here. That wouldn't be just me talking by myself.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
exceptionally. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any expectations of what you want out of this podcast, or what we're.
I expect it to rocket me to international fame, personally.
Well, that's a good goal. At least international internet fame, which potentially everyone has.
Yeah. Which that and $2 will get you a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind making a couple of $1 million off of this podcast. That'd be pretty sweet.
Paul's just gonna take it all. He's gonna, claim it for expenses or something.
Oh.
Probably in the GameCola fine print.
I'll settle for a free T-shirt then.
Yeah. All money goes to Paul to fuel his coke and video game habits. That's right. Paul Franton is a coke fiend.
Is that why it's GameCola?
Yes. It's a subtle hint as to his true nature.
That's terrifying. It's about Paul.
It's a good thing he's not on this podcast, so we can just make fun of him all we want.
Yeah.
I know, it's great.
I'm surprised he didn't want to do anything. I don't have anything to do with this, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's his own fault. I mean, he's not here, so ergo, we get to make fun of him as much as we want.
Makes sense.
Loves you, Paul.
Don't we do that anyway in all of our reviews?
Pretty much, yeah. I read gay porn about him and Eric.
Oh yeah.
Or was it Matt? I forgot. I remember. Wrote lots of that stuff anyway.
There's a whole online slash fic community for Paul Franzen.
That too is
Mm.
terrifying. I'm learning tons of things about Paul that I've never known before. I'm afraid.
The great thing about the internet is that as soon as you say something like that, it exists.
That's true.
So, having just said it, I'm sure there's now a whole online community devoted to Paul slash fic.
If there's not,
You
there
know,
should be.
what are we supposed to be doing? Talking about video games or something?
So I guess we could just talk about '08, kind of a wrap up. Some people's favorites games or most disappointing games, perhaps. Those are usually more interesting.
You're going to have to edit my most disappointing game because I have a lot to say about it. Thankfully, I haven't been drinking because last time I was drinking and talked about it, I think I yelled for about half an hour.
Well,
That was a fun.
it's a decent amount of podcast time to take up. I mean, go for it.
All right, my most disappointing game of 2008 is Fallout 3.
Okay.
Uh, I say that I want to preface it by saying Fallout 3 is a great game. They did it continued the Fallout series. It created this wonderful, huge world for you to explore. A lot of innovative stuff. The game system was pretty fun. The mechanics, that is, the weapons were cool. All that stuff was there. But they dropped the ball when it came to the story writing and the ending. Because I'll admit I'm an old school Fallout fan, and one thing those games did really, really well was writing and plot design. And there's just nothing in Fallout 3. It not to sound punny, but it is a literary wasteland. I mean, the main quest story is like 2 hours to get through, and after you finish it, first off, it ends the game. That you can't you have to reload from an earlier thing to go back and explore. And for creating a huge effing wasteland to explore, you'd think they might let you continue. And secondly, it is so stupid. It is one of the worst endings I've ever seen. It's well, okay, maybe it's not the worst ending, but they present you with an arbitrarily dramatic choice, and there are ways you could avoid it. Spoiler alert. Anybody who doesn't want to, listen to this, tune out now. They make you go into a giant irradiated chamber to turn off this thing, which if it blows up, it's going to take out half of the East Coast or whatever. First off, by that point in the game, I'm nearly immune to radiation. But no, it still kills you. And you only have to go in and press 3 buttons. I could run in and within 30 seconds go boop, 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 back out. Done. With my radiation resistance, probably could handle it. Secondly, you can have a party member at that point. And there are 3 which come to mind. One is a robot. And hells yeah, I'm sending the robot into the irradiated chamber to press the 3 buttons so I don't have to die. But no, they don't let you do that. One is a ghoul. And this is a heavily radiated person. They're technically dead, kind of. The radiation is like a warm bath to them. They like it. But no, you can't send him in there. And then there's a super mutant that you can get in your party who's invincible. He walked through a highly irradiated chamber for you to retrieve an item, and he's like, "No, my friend, I wouldn't dare dream of taking away this great opportunity from you." Bullshit! If he can walk through it and not be hurt, and I have to walk in there and die, some goddamn friend this guy is. And I spent 2 weeks after I beat the game just dwelling on this and developing a little ulcer and brain aneurysm. I don't know why they did that. It's terrible storytelling, and they got guys like Malcolm McDowell and they got Liam Neeson to do voices for this game. Here's what I want them to do: get no-name voice actors that can still do a good job, and take all that extra money you had to pay the talent and use it to hire some goddamn writers. Fallout deserves better than that. But that's me saying it as a rabid Fallout fanboy. But god damn, I hate arbitrarily dramatic, story choices at the end. But anyway, that's why it's the most disappointing for me. Because they had a lot they could do, and they did a lot. They did a great job with it. I'm just going to reiterate that. They did a great job. It's just they didn't stick the landing, you know?
Yeah. I entirely agree.
It's
Like I'm not a raving Fallout fan. I did like the rest of the series, and I really liked Fallout 3. Um,
yeah,
and it's a good game on the whole. I do agree the ending is a little, and I really don't know how they're gonna
same.
work. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna work in the downloadable content because I mean, if you've beaten the game, I don't know, you're SOL.
Um,
Especially, I don't know. What was that?
a friend of mine said he works for like a local TV station, and he actually convinced him to go and do a story on the video game industry since they're the only ones not going bankrupt right now. And he went and talked to Bethesda, and that was actually one of the questions he asked them while he was there. What the hell's up with the downloadable content since I'm kind of dead now. And they
Right.
said, oh well, your game will just start up after from where you left off, and it like, am I Jesus? Do I come back to life? Am I if they make your player a ghoul, like he gets like so much radiation and becomes a ghoul, that would actually be pretty cool. But somehow I doubt they're going to do that
Right.
because that would require uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh, creativity. Creative. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
People would
But
be pissed off about that though. Oh, they don't want to be ghouls, and then they just yell at Bethesda, and Bethesda would get all the flack for that.
yeah, I think that would be an interesting thing to do, but they won't do it. They'll, come up with some lame thing like, "Oh, it was all a dream."
Right. They didn't even put. I mean, there's a point where you can get a ghoul mask, and they didn't even put extra dialogue in for that. Like I wore the ghoul mask the entire game,
Oh yeah.
and everyone was just fine with me being a ghoul for some reason. No one cared, and they all talked to me like I was human.
Yeah.
So I
Oh,
wouldn't be
I
surprised if
see.
they
I never
didn't
used
do
the
that.
mask because I assumed it would do something bad, other than making you look ugly. But
No,
that's really lame.
there's absolutely no
I mean,
reason to not wear the ghoul mask because it just makes you safe every time you go into like a subway. Like no ghouls attack you.
ugh,
So,
that's yeah,
but
lame.
yeah, there's a lot of little things that really bug me about Fallout 3. But I didn't actually do any of the main storyline really until after I completed a crap ton of the sideline quests. So I really did
Oh
not
yeah,
have
same
a
here.
bad time with the game. Like it kind of left a good taste in my mouth until the ending, and I just haven't picked it up since because I've already done most of it.
Yeah, that's really the same thing. The same thing I did, and it's just it's like having a really good meal and then having a big old plate of poop brought out to you for dessert, and the guy looks at you expectantly. Is like, "Here's your dessert. You want to try it?" No, it's poop. I don't want to eat poop, but you have to eat the poop.
Yes, you do. Well, I guess you
Sigh.
don't. I mean,
It's true. Well, I mean, all right. Say it's like it looks like a really nice chocolate cake, but then you bite into it and it's got a poop center,
all
and
right,
you
stop.
taste it. It's like, oh God, what did you do to me?
Can we quit the poop analogies and I'll pass it on.
All right.
Yes, yes. I haven't been saying anything because this is the first time I've heard of Fallout. So, yay, yay
so
for me.
so other Michael, what games do you play other than games from a decade ago? I mean, do you play any current gen games?
I've played a bunch of games. I played the Lego Indiana Jones this year. That was okay. Oh, what other games are on this list that I played? Oh, well, I had a little beef about Silent Hill Homecoming. Actually, I didn't have a beef. My friend told me about it, but I can just repeat what my friend said to sound smart.
Okay.
So, apparently they had Japanese producers for the first games in the series, and now they have American producers. And the
Oh.
American producers changed everything by adding hot girls, which apparently is not good. All I wanted to say is, my idea of Silent Hill, I don't think the hills should be silent. I say the hills are alive with the sound of music.
I don't know
So,
how scary of a game that would be though. I mean, well, in a different way perhaps.
yeah, yeah.
Musical games, why don't they
So that's
exist? Good
all I have to
question.
say.
Silent Hill since the first one, which scared the crap out of me. But after that, I don't know. I think that I
Hmm.
kind of grew a callus.
I uh, I really like horror games, but I can't drive myself to play a character that I know like I'm gonna have to force them to go around a corner and be afraid of something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would
Yeah.
rather watch a movie and be scared than play a game and be scared, if that makes sense.
It's a different dynamic. I mean, with the movies, I watch scary movies all the time, but that's mainly for Schadenfreude. I enjoy seeing people who the kids having the premarital sex or drinking or doing drugs. Suddenly Jason's there, cutting them in half. That's just great. Um, but I like I like survival horror because I have to take it slow and I have to think and I have to be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Dead Space came out this year, and I recently played that, and I enjoyed that a lot. It's been a while since I've kind of had a survival horror game like that. The last one that really comes to mind was Resident Evil 4, and while that was in large parts an action game, um, it was still survival horror, and it did a good job, I think. And Dead Space did as well. They added this new mechanic where you have to dismember your enemies, um, which man, that's fun. Uh, and it seriously freaked me out at times. There's these enemies called lurkers that are giant, well not giant, bigger than usual, mutated babies. Um,
Lovely.
if you've ever seen The Thing, where they have the wolves with like the tentacles, like their backs open up and the tentacles sprout out. Yeah, imagine that happening to babies. It freaked me the hell out. I hate babies. Well, scary babies.
Right.
And regular babies. Who doesn't hate babies? Wow. Let's edit that part out, okay?
You're talking about
Who
babies for,
doesn't
for
hate
5
babies?
minutes?
Well, just the part with Mike Ridgaway hates babies.
I think we'll emphasize that part, I believe.
uh, um, what else? What else came out this year? I
Hmm.
guess the big one to talk about is GTA 4.
I like the GTA series. I think ever since San Andreas slash Vice City, they've become a lot better in that they actually have characters and writing and like a storyline, which has been fun to follow. Um, I know a lot of people didn't like 4, I guess, because it's too like serious. And there's a lot of elements of 4 that do kind of suck. Like I really got sick fast of the whole friends system, but
Oh God.
yeah, I mean that's just
Hey, wanna
pointless.
go bowling? Hey, wanna go for a helicopter ride? I'm trying to do something here. Okay, I'll call you later. Hey, wanna go for a helicopter ride?
Yeah. Um,
No, that was.
those are not just a silly. I don't even know why it was included. It seems like an element that just shouldn't. I don't know. Shouldn't exist.
Maybe if they tuned it down a little bit, but as it stands, it got a pretty annoying pretty quickly. I mean, at first it was like, oh, hey, my friends, yeah, we'll go hang out, and you can do stuff for me. And then, an hour later, when you're trying to play the game, and you have like a gajillion friends, they all start calling you at once,
Right.
and they get pissed off at you. So I turned off my phone. Problem solved. With regards to this story, though, I never really cared for the GTA stories. I played them mainly, so I could run around the city and blow crap up. Um, but I actually really got into the story of this one, as people might be able to infer from the fact, as Vanjie mentioned in her column, that I kind of cried at the end.
Oh.
Uh, yeah, it got to me, and so I had to call her. And she was so pissed off because I spent like the entire week playing it. I was just about to tell me off until I called her crying, and I stole her thunder.
Other
No, I don't
Michael's
think
not
so.
talking much.
But I'm alive.
Okay. Did you play GTA 4,
I
Mr. Gray?
I really I don't have a PlayStation or an Xbox. I just have a Wii, so
Ah,
I know I'm not hip.
we'll have to talk about a game that you have played at some point. Remind me about that.
Okay.
Um, As to GTA 4, I think the story came out really well. You kind of get a feel better for the characters and stuff, and I really
Yeah.
don't like games where they, like we were talking about Fallout 3, the arbitrary decision, and like I think GTA 4 there was a lot of arbitrary decisions. Like you end up doing the same thing no matter what essentially you choose.
Yeah.
And the story ends rather similarly. It does a better job of it than Fallout, if you ask me. But
It does, but no, at the same time, it's there's no happy ending there. But I'd say with Grand Theft Auto 4, it fits the theme better
yeah,
because you're shown this rather bleak depiction of a immigrant coming to America, and you know he does some really terrible things. I mean that's one of the things about GTA that kind of gets lost by the wayside, that you play a terrible person, and there are consequences. That's one of the reasons I liked the ending for that. So morality play.
Hmm.
I think with 4 they did a better job of kind of showing you that you were a bad person. Like the rest of the games, it really wasn't that apparent.
Yeah,
And you just kind of did it, and nothing. You were fine with that, and it solved all your problems eventually. In the end of all the other games, you became like a hero, and you had tons of money and stuff.
yeah,
3 or yeah, was it 3? No, San Andreas had a bit more of like a grim overtone to it, I think.
yeah,
But 4 is definitely like put into perspective that, man, you do a bunch of shitty stuff,
yeah.
and with the decisions you make, I think GTA 4 does it well, but I really don't like it when developers impose this sort of thing like, oh, we want to make games that make you feel, or um, that sort of thing, and all it is end up being like a decision where you know a negative consequences happens, and I don't know, it always seems kind of like forced. You know what I'm saying?
And he has to make the decision about whether his best friend lives or dies. His best friend's a talking pie. Howard, you've done it again.
I would eat a talking pie.
Someone, someone needs to make that game.
Those are tough
Hmm.
decisions that someone should be making every day.
Eating your best friend. That is a tough decision to make.
Is
Yeah,
he your only
but
friend?
pie is delicious.
This is true.
Um, it is not specified.
If I had other friends, I'd consider eating them. But if I was alone with this talking pie, I might keep him around for company,
Hmm.
or until I was hungry. So other '08 things to discuss other than talking
Mega
pies.
Man 9. Mega Man 9.
Yay.
Have you played
It was
this,
just
Michaels? Both Michaels?
I
I
haven't, but I like Mega Man. I'm writing a thing about Mega Man for the January issue. Yay.
You have a
So I'm
Wii,
all Mega Man hopped up.
but you haven't played Mega Man 9.
Yay. No. Well, I can't actually beat the Mega Man games, but I like them anyway.
That's the problem I have with Mega Man, and is the reason I have not even touched Mega Man 9. I'm deadly afraid of breaking my Wii controllers against TVs. So discuss
that
away.
that is a definite that is a definite risk, but it's Mega Man. It's delightful. They do it right. I mean, it's you complain about it. It's like, oh, it's the same old Mega Man. Why would you play that? But that's the reason I play. It's like, oh my god, it's Mega Man, and it's wonderful in 8-bit and hard as hell and really frustrating at times, but it's good. I enjoyed it a lot.
So
Mhm.
a lot of my friends were really excited about Mega Man coming out because I guess it is my generation that would have played it, but I never owned an NES. My first console was a Super Nintendo. So I mean, is this a
A
nostalgia trip
youngin.
for you guys? Because I've never played
A bit.
like
A,
originally the
a,
original Mega Man's on the original system.
um, yeah, it's a bit of a nostalgia trip for me. I mean, you you play it. It reminds you of being a kid. You know, those hours spent in front of a TV where a game wasn't long. It was just hard, and so you really had to work to be good at it and to get through it. Especially Dr. Wily's Castle. Ugh. But I don't want to say it's all nostalgia because it's fun. I mean, the reason they made so many Mega Man games is because they were successful, and they were successful because they were fun. it's still very fun, assuming you don't break a controller.
Right. You're not easily frustrated.
I am, but at the same time, it's sort of a fun frustration because I know it's possible to beat it. It's just you have to work at it. It's not like a lot of modern games, like, well, if you die, you go back a few steps and you try again, and if you die, you go back a few steps and try again, and they've always seemed very easy in comparison to the old Mega Man games, where it's like if you screw up, you're gonna start back at the beginning of the level, no matter how far along you were.
I should get that game. I'm sure it'd be fun.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. I mean, going back and playing older Mega Mans for your article, how is that? I mean, are they still just as difficult, or do you feel like you've bested them with age?
I actually didn't play it for the article. I watched somebody on YouTube play the game instead, which is
Lame.
it's very easy to get pictures that way. So that's my excuse.
So, what is your article about? If not, is it about the game?
Yeah, it's 10 reasons on Mega Man 1.
Oh, okay. But they have nothing to do
That's
with
it.
gameplay because you haven't played the game.
I played the game on an emulator, I know.
No,
And
that's
even with save states, it's difficult for me.
okay. No, that's
Yeah.
that's I mean that's why I haven't gotten into the Mega Man series because I mean I played them on emulators as well, and that's I mean you become really jaded with an emulator, and
It's
it's
true.
it's different than being a kid and having a whole bunch of time to waste and just playing the same levels over and over again until you can feel that accomplishment. So I
Yeah, I
think the
mean, I
game
was I
loses
was glad
value.
I didn't play Mega Man 9 on an emulator first because it does take away from it because if there is a difficult jump, you just save state, try it. If you fail, reload. If you don't, keep going
Hmm.
Right.
and take another save state. Um, it it made it a challenge, and it was a challenge I hadn't had in a while, and it's a challenge that I enjoy. So
Yeah.
the same thing as when I was a kid.
I don't think it's a bad thing to experience it, later in life, not on the original system, but I think it definitely does
No,
change the way it's played, and I think that's a huge part of the Mega Man series is that like, you really don't see the appeal of it until you are risking your entire level on this one jump, or something like that.
hmm
So, no,
Yeah.
I understand that. Is there any other big
uh,
08 you want to talk about before we go on to predictions or anticipations?
The World Ends with You. It didn't see a huge release, but it was this neat little DS title from Square Enix. It was fun. There was it wasn't a Final Fantasy clone, which was great. They did a lot with using the stylus to control and to pull off moves and different kinds of combinations of clothes and stuff like that you could wear, and the importance of actually buying clothes and being fashionable, which not something you see all the time, but admittedly I got really into. It's like, oh man, I gotta change my threads or else people think I'm a punk. Um, you get bonuses based on the styles, what style is in, what style is out.
With Warlands with You, I played the game, but it's too much Japanese culture for me that I just don't care for. Like, I mean, it is interesting
That's
that
fair.
the mechanics and that you do have to change your clothes to be in style and stuff like that. But there comes a point where it's just like, eh, I'd, eh, I'd rather play a Final Fantasy game.
That's fair. I don't know. I'm usually turned off by large doses of Japanese culture, but this
Hmm.
stuck with me for some reason. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
The disappointing game of the year, I imagine.
Actually, it wasn't too bad. Okay, this isn't a game you should go into with a ton of expectations. I will say that. But if you don't, it centers around this kid who is you never heard of him before, but he's far more powerful than Vader or Luke or anyone like that. You pull a star destroyer out of the sky during the course of the game, but it's really funny because the story is so over the top, and At times, it almost feels like you're going through and you're killing the last links to the new trilogy to make way for the original trilogy, because it takes place between episode 3 and episode 4. Which is really great because I hate the new trilogy, and so I'm just like, oh, good, I'm clearing away all the brush and making way for the new growth, which in this case is the old growth. The gameplay is pretty cool, you get to run around zapping guys with forced lightning and hitting stuff with your lightsaber. That's always fun. But the one reason this will always stick in my heart is because at one point in the game you can find Jar Jar frozen in carbonite.
Whoa, what?
Jar Jar.
I have to get this game, yeah.
He's in the same, Han Solo frozen in carbonite pose. It just made my day seeing that. It's like, oh,
knowing that he's dead.
Uh-huh.
Yay.
Well, I guess not dead.
He's not dead. He can get unfrozen.
I'd like to think they shot
Right?
it first.
Yeah, that'll work.
And then froze his corpse in carbonite, as a constant reminder that he is indeed dead, and we have desecrated his corpse. I really hate Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We've established Michael Ridgaway hates Jar Jar Binks and babies, so I think that's good to note. I think they're very similarities there.
Like fucking yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody play Spore?
I did.
I
play
feel like
Spore.
I'm the only person. How was that?
I'm not a huge fan of Will Wright's games, but I think it'd be fun if I was younger, I think, and it was just like, ooh, I get to like add limbs to stuff and be creative. If I didn't think I could like draw something or model something just as cool outside of the game, it might be kind of fun. But yeah.
Did anyone when they were a kid play a game called EVO: The Search for Eden?
I played it a little bit on an emulator, not when I was a kid.
It was this surprisingly fun game where you start off as a fish and then you play through like the age of when the world was all water, and eventually you become this badass fish, and then you go to the age of amphibians and you become start off as this dinky little salamander looking thing, and then you become this badass spiky tooth amphibian, and then you can play through the dinosaur, and then as a bird, and then a mammal, and then finally you get to be a human.
Yay.
But every time I see Sport, I can't help but think of that, and just the evolving part is like really fun and great, but I feel like the rest of it I could just pass it by.
Yeah, the gameplay is rather lacking. I mean, there's not a lot of like stuff to do except when you get to evolve and make new creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how they made it like incredibly hard to be a herbivore. Like, why even bother?
Mm-hmm.
You just get your ass kicked. And especially when you went into like, yeah, especially when you went into like civilization mode. If you were still an herbivore, you just couldn't do anything. Like, you couldn't get into like, you couldn't
We
go to
are
space.
peaceful
Yeah.
and eat plants.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, take that, vegetarians.
Yeah, seriously. If the vegetarians had their way, we'd still be in the Stone Age. We wouldn't even have stones. We'd have wood. Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds.
That wasn't awkward at all. No.
No. Keeping that one in there.
Oh.
That one's staying.
What up, bum? What up, bum?
Oh, 9. Yay.
What's to look forward to? I know the big title on everyone's list. I'll just throw it out there. Pokemon Platinum.
Oh yeah.
Oh, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's coming. Best beware.
Hide your daughters. The Pokemon games are fun. Don't knock them. They're the best part about
I'm
the
not
Pokemon
knocking
series.
it. I will have it the first day. I need my seasonal bullet punch as soon as I can.
Oh well, we'll do some Pokemon trading.
All right.
We'll
Throw down.
Yeah.
I got to be the very best, Colin. The best ever.
You gotta.
You want to be the Pokemaster.
Yeah. It's sad, but I'm looking forward to it. I've been following it, so, and it's one of the games I'm addicted to. Some friends got me onto Diamond and Pearl a while ago, and I haven't been able to put it down.
No, I think it's good. It's fun.
Yeah.
I think some of the designs are getting out of hand, but
Yeah.
um, it's still good. I don't know.
Uh,
I played the first one. I had a blue cartridge.
yeah. I played Red back in the day, and then this is like Diamond was the I skipped all of the ones in between.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I
Yeah.
did. Like, I mean, they're continually, you know, deliver the same fun experience. So I mean, I don't see the problem in it. What else?
Dragon Quest Nine is coming out for the DS. That's a little worth talking about, if only for the fact that an actual Dragon Quest game, not like a remake, is coming out for the DS. So I'm looking forward to that.
So
I,
that is a that's like a new game that they've made. It's not a redo.
it is Dragon Quest Nine. It is the next one in the series.
Wow.
I'll be interested to kind of see what they do with the technology, especially with regards to the length of the game, the graphics, stuff like that. Um, because Dragon Quest games, at least the ones in recent memory, have been 80 hours long. It feels like, and there's a lot of stuff there, but I don't know if they'll be able to fit it all on the DS or what they're gonna do with that. Um, what else? What else? The new Batman game, Arkham Asylum.
Oh yes,
That's what.
that looks really good.
Yeah, one of my friends pointed out the other day they got Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill to do voices,
Yeah,
and Paul Dini is writing.
it's gonna be really good.
So yeah, it's like the Batman the Animated Series reunion game, and I will love it, and I will play it all night, and be giggling like a child.
Which is
Oh,
what
So
he
much.
does most nights, actually.
It's true. It's
For those
true.
of you who don't know.
I just lay in bed going.
creepy.
Oh, and Michael brought this up in the chat. We may be seeing a new Zelda next year. We're not.
Hmm.
No one's sure.
I
People.
doubt it.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna make predictions about this. Just because I can be an angry Zelda fan.
Uh,
With the 64, they had Ocarina of Time in like I don't know '96, and 2 years later they had Majora's Mask, and it only took them 2 years, and it's been 3 years since the last Zelda for the Wii, and we haven't heard or seen any screens or anything, and that makes me angry.
yeah, yeah. Oh, they kind of left people like you and me by the wayside, where they've got this great pool of non gamers and casual gamers to make games for, and they're making money hand over fist. So you know, I can't fault them for making money, but at the same time, I want my Zelda.
Yeah. I
I'm not sorry. Go
I
ahead.
still haven't played much of Majora's or not Majora's Mask. The one which one that just came out? Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I never actually beat it. I probably should get it, but I can't bring myself to actually like. I have a Wii, but I don't want to play it on the Wii because I don't want to swing a nunchuck around to attack. You know what I'm saying?
Fair.
yeah, I played
S-
the GameCube version.
yeah, I think I'd be really disappointed if they come out with a Wii one where it's all like Wii based, and it's I don't think it'd be as fun. You know, um, I just like my
Yeah.
Zelda games to be Zelda games where you just press buttons.
Yeah.
That's my greatest fear for the Zelda Wii is that they're going to do something like they did for the Phantom Hourglass on the DS, where
Yes,
they made it
that's
all. Oh, guess what? All you have to do, you can't touch any buttons. It's all stylus.
hate it,
And if they
hate it.
do that for Zelda Wii, I'm just going to go crazy.
See, I thought that they actually did a pretty good job with Phantom Hourglass.
It's all
I
right, but I really wish I could just stop using the stylus at some point. Of course, I have huge hands, and I'm left-handed, and it doesn't work with the Wii very well, or the DS very
Yeah.
well.
I predict that we'll at least hear about a new Zelda by the end of the year. I'm not overly optimistic about getting one.
Yeah. Well, that's something to look forward to, I guess.
I wouldn't be surprised if they pump out Mega Man 10 by the end of the year, because you only need like a few people to do one of those games anymore. They have just all the editors, and you throw them together. And as much as I love Mega Man, I mean, you need 8 Robot Masters, you need 8 levels, and you need Wily's Castle. Done. Throw in some obligatory, I'm not going to let you get away with this, Mr. Dr. Wily, and you have a Mega Man game. And they probably stand to make a tidy little sum off of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mega Man 10 by the end of 2009.
Yeah.
I would like to see come out would be the Ghostbusters game, because
That's
Yeah.
that's I don't know about you guys, but Ghostbusters was
It's a great
definitely my movie as a kid. And
Yeah.
it's totally just a nostalgia trip seeing the guys in like CG with their same voices and stuff, and I don't know.
But I'll just say this for Paul's sake. Hopefully he hears it in between Coke benches. Ghostbusters is the worst thing that has ever made. It is a cinema abortion and should be struck from the face of the earth.
Wait, are you saying that
For you,
because?
Paul.
Wait, what is?
No.
Are you just trying to make him mad, or are you?
Yes.
Okay.
I like Ghostbusters, but no.
Yeah, seriously, a giant guy made out of marshmallow? What the hell is that?
It's seriously. That's bad storytelling
I've heard
right there.
of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I've never heard of that anywhere else besides Ghostbusters.
You guys
Zool? What the hell
gonna
is
make-
Zool?
Oh, you guys are totally gonna make me cry here. I'm gonna cry, guys.
Oh, sorry, I've offended the Marshmallow King.
Do you guys have any gamer resolutions?
Resolutions.
My resolution is to be the very best, the best that ever was.
Oh, well, there you go. You'll have that chance, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Catch
think
them.
my resolution, I was going to try to stop swearing in my GameCola articles.
Well, don't do that.
Fine, then I'll just stop hating on Final Fantasy VI.
I can accept that.
Yeah. But in return, I want to start hating on something else.
There's plenty of things to hate on.
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So I'm sure everybody will be happy in the end.
And if I may make a resolution for Paul, do less cocaine, or at least stop shooting it directly into his eyes.
That's gotta wreak havoc on his sinuses.
It's true.
Poor guy. We should get him some help.
Yeah. We're only looking out for you, Paul.
Yes.
This podcast has just become an intervention. That's all it is. Paul's the only guy listening to it, and we're sorry. We're gonna have to sit you down, and you gotta stop doing this.
It's killing you, Paul. It's killing you. It's killing your family.
What a
And
shame.
it's hurting us.
It's hurting
Yeah.
your friends.
Yeah.
All our GameCola profits are going right up your nose.
They should
That's
go
right.
up our noses.
All
Wait, what?
All those big fat GameCola profits.
I guess that's it for this attempt at a podcast. I think we did a decent job. I don't know.
Yeah, we got some good stuff in there. Hopefully,
A little.
next month we can get more people in this. No,
Yeah, next month.
we've shown that it can actually be done.
Yeah.
And there you have it, the first ever GameCola podcast. We hope you enjoyed it and that you tune in next month for the second installment. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or you would like to recommend a topic for us to discuss, please contact us at GameCola. You can leave a comment, you can email us, heck, you can even skywrite it, and we'll hopefully see it if we're in the area. So, thanks again, and here's some more entertainment system to take us out. And off the record, really quick, Ranji asked if anyone knows when the deadline for the Janish is.
Oh, this is totally going on the podcast.